This move would be a steal for the Rams. We're going to talk about a potential free agency signing that I think would almost finalize their near perfect offseason for the Rams. We'll talk about who that free agency signing could be. We're also going to talk about some other details about Cooper Kupp, what team he will be playing for next, or what team it may seem like he could possibly play for next, and one that may not be as far as we think. We'll talk about all that and much more on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron. Remember, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, press that subscribe button now, as 71.6% of you guys are watching the videos, but you're still not subscribed to the channel. Do me a favor, press that subscribe button now so you don't miss any daily Rams content here at the Rams Digest. Before we get into the video, I want to hear a quick word from the sponsor for today's video. We are incredibly excited to be kicking off our March Madness bracket here for the channel. We're going to be partnering up with the Hot Takes app and other digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. All you got to do is download the Hot Takes app, go ahead and click over the March Madness banner at the top, and under group, select the Digest Media Pool. This is extremely exciting, guys. We're talking about over $25,000 in prizes to be won, and since there's a much smaller pool of people participating, there's a real chance of winning big compared to other bracket challenges out there. Check out the link below or scan the QR code to download the app, and make sure to use the promo code DIGEST in all caps. Again, that's DIGEST in all caps to get exclusive perks when signing up. It's completely free, a serious chance to win, so do me a favor. If you guys have any questions at all, go ahead and hit the email down below. Other than that, thank you to Hot Takes for this opportunity, and I hope to see you all there in the March Madness pool. All right, first things first, going into the details on who I want the Rams to sign, I say just go get him. Go get him right now. It feels like a near perfect signing. It also not only is great for the Rams, but it actually would hurt a division rival as they lose one of their key pieces on the defensive side of the ball. We're talking about Kyzir White. Why the Rams should poach a divisional rival in free agency. I really think this would be a near perfect move for the Rams. We're talking about a linebacker who, inside linebacker, played in the league for a long time, played for a lot of good teams, including the Philadelphia Eagles, Los Angeles Chargers, being a really good player on both of those defenses. I think this is a near perfect fit. A guy who's just a good field general on the field, a good run stopper, decent in coverage, also can blitz the quarterback a bit. I think all around this would be a really nice signing for the Rams. Something that I don't know why the Rams aren't calling right now, trying to make this happen. It hurts the Arizona Cardinals in the process. You know, we actually have a Cardinals fan here at the Digest Media, and he was letting us know that, dang, this actually would be a tough thing to see happen from his perspective as a Cardinals fan. And so talking about Kyzir White specifically, he's a free agent right now, should be someone the Rams are looking into. Last season, he played for the divisional rival, Arizona Cardinals, had 137 total tackles and an interception, as well as 2.5 sacks and a fumble return. Veteran in the league. Only 28 years old, leaving him room to hit his stride. The Rams should target him because he's shown that as long as he stays healthy, he'll rack up tackles, and that's something they're lacking right now. And I think ultimately, right, you're looking at the guys who the Rams are losing on the defensive side of the ball. Again, guys, I think the Rams and Rams fans out there are okay moving on from at the linebacker position, right? But specifically talking about that inside linebacker, you need someone in the middle who you can trust, you can rely on in all facets of the game, whether that's stopping the run, which is what we've been talking about, right? Last year, how bad the Rams were at stuffing the run. You already added Puka Nacua to this roster, who not only is helping you run stop, but he can also attack the quarterback a little bit. We're looking for guys who can do multiple of things like that. Puka Nacua, again, being that run stopper. You still need linebackers to stuff the run. If Puka Nacua is eating up two tackles, two offensive linemen, right, on defense, then of course you need the linebackers to go ahead and fill those gaps and make the plays happen. I think this is a guy like Kyzir White couldn't do. We could take a look at his stats actually right now, as 17 games played, so he was healthy majority of the season. We're hoping he can continue that if the Rams can go out and get him. 6'2", he's only 28 years old. 1 interception on the year, as we already said. 2.5 sacks, no forced fumbles, but a fumble recovery return. Let's see, tackles for loss, 9 tackles for loss on the year, so he's good at stuffing the run a decent amount. Also, 60 solo tackles, 137 total tackles, as we already discussed in terms of his stats. So overall, I think this, again, great addition for the Rams. I think this would be something that can not only hurt Arizona, but also help the Rams in the process. Is exactly what the Rams need, exactly what the Rams are looking for. I'm not saying that Kyzir White is going to be the next Fred Warner out there at linebacker, but this is a linebacker that you need. Again, all-around linebacker, does exactly what the Rams need in the future moving forward. I think this would be a near perfect signing for the Rams that would kind of solidify their defense, offense, overall, just great offseason altogether for the Rams. We'll see if this is the route the Rams end up taking, but I would highly recommend the Rams go after a player like Kyzir White. Moving on from that, we can talk about Cooper Kupp and his destination moving forward. Where is he going to play next season? That's kind of the big talk right now, right? We're kind of curious about where Cooper Kupp is going to play next. Of course, it was hard to see the Rams let him go this week, but overall, we all kind of understood that this was going to happen. We've been talking about on the channel very, very much so, right? Every single episode, it seems like we've been mentioning Cooper Kupp and possibly getting traded. Now that he's officially been released, I'm kind of curious. Rams legend. It's obviously, it's a business. We understand all that good stuff. But overall, I still kind of want to see and care about where Cooper Kupp ends up playing. I still kind of want to see where he does, how he does moving forward. I also want to see if he's going to play for like a division rival, for example. Cooper Kupp's next team after the Rams release is painfully obvious. What are we talking about here in this article? Well, I mean, it's kind of, if you're Cooper Kupp, you can kind of see how all fingers can point to something like this, right? We're talking about him not going too far, staying actually home specifically. We're talking about him staying with the Los Angeles Chargers in this situation. The Chargers are a perfect destination for Cooper Kupp in free agency. Look at positives here. Kupp is a family man. If he signed with the Chargers, he'd hardly have to move. Actually, probably wouldn't have to move at all. Both teams share the same stadium, for goodness sake. So obviously, that's kind of a very obvious route that Cooper Kupp can take. I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but if you look at the Chargers, their situation where it comes to their head coach, his perspective, their quarterback being a really good quarterback that they want to get weapons for. You see Ladd McConkey obviously succeeding last year in that offense, but outside of Quentin Johnson, who obviously has gotten better, but still been really struggling right for the Chargers, would make sense to bring a veteran receiver in who's a very reliable receiver, who can kind of be a go-to guy for Justin Herbert, obviously teach things to Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnson for that matter, and also just kind of be that number one receiver for you, and also allow Quentin Johnson to be the number 2 option, allow Ladd McConkey to work in the slot, which I think he can actually really do really well in. So I think it does really make some sense for a team like the Chargers to go after Cooper Kupp, and it would make sense for Cooper Kupp to keep his family at home and just play in Los Angeles still. But the Raiders are a team I can see. Now they went after Geno Smith. You see Tom Brady, that connection that he had with Matthew Stafford, trying to get him in Vegas. Maybe he looks over at another Rams player and says, let me go ahead and chase after Cooper Kupp. But also I think another team that I really think he can sign with would be a team in the same division as the Raiders. It'd be the Denver Broncos, who have been pretty aggressive in terms of this offseason, getting their team better. They like Bo Nix. They're trying to get him in a position to where he can succeed as much as possible. I think that'd be a nice addition to a team like the Denver Broncos. So that's those are the teams that actually all 3 of those teams are in the same division. Actually, I just realized. So those 3 teams, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Broncos, I think would heavily look for a guy like Cooper Kupp. We're also talking about the Dallas Cowboys out there who, they can use some help. The second receiver option is if we're talking about a cheaper contract. We know how cheap the Jones family in general can be when it comes to contracts-wise. So I think that could be a team if Cooper Kupp is willing to take a pay cut, a significant pay cut, kind of do a cheap contract. I can see him going to the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of different options for Cooper Kupp in terms of where he can go this offseason. You guys let me know, actually. If you guys have a guess, go ahead and give a comment down below. See if you guys can predict it now. Where does Cooper Kupp end up signing? Is it the Chargers? Is it somewhere else? You let me know down in the comments section down below. Moving on to the last but not least story of the day here, trivia of the day. We're going to do a trivia of the day. If you guys have never seen us do trivia of the day here on the channel, we basically post a trivia question at the end of every episode. If you get it right, if you get it wrong, either way, we'll go ahead and give you a shout out on the bottom or the top of the bottom, the end of the next episode. So go ahead. We'll talk about the last trivia of the day. This was the question for the last episode. It was, what NFL franchise hired the first Hispanic and African American head coaches in the history of the league? That was the question. We did ask a few of you guys that question, and we got a couple responses. If you guys missed this trivia of the day, don't worry, you can play along today on today's trivia after this. But for the ones who did play along and they did respond, these are the names here. Sorry, they are so small. There was quite a bit of people who played along. Shout out to Raina saying Steelers. That was her guess. By the way, the multiple choice options for that question was Steelers, Rams, Raiders, Jets. We had Raina say the Steelers. We had, as I drop my next trivia question, we had C Raiders, father-in-law Raiders fan, talks about them a lot. Sounds like the Raiders would, something the Raiders would do, from MMZ Jr. Sorry, Jesus, you said I think it's C Raiders. We had James saying Raiders, Brian B saying Raiders with an emoji. We had Batman62 saying the Raiders. We had Raymond guessing the Rams. We had Floyd saying, I tried posting my answer twice. Maybe the third time's a charm. Raiders. I actually got all 3 comments, by the way, Floyd, so appreciate you. And then we had Raiders Tom Flores here saying from Richard Brooks. He also said in art shell, I think. So those were the guesses of the day. We appreciate all you guys for playing along. The correct answer, was it the Steelers? Was it the Rams? Was it the Raiders? The correct answer was C, the Las Vegas, or at the time, Oakland. It might have actually been Los Angeles Raiders. But the Raiders were the franchise to go ahead and sign both the first African-American head coach and the first Hispanic, Latino, I think it was first Hispanic head coach as well. So that was the trivia of the day for the last episode that I was on. If you guys want to play along with today's trivia of the day, here is the trivia of the day question. Which of these quarterbacks caught a pass in the Super Bowl? Here are your multiple choice options. Go ahead and comment, and we'll give you a shout out on the next episode. Was it A, John Elway? Was it B, Ben Roethlisberger? Was it C, Eli Manning? Or was it D, Kurt Warner? Which of these quarterbacks caught a pass in the Super Bowl? John Elway, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, or Kurt Warner? Give your guesses down below in the comment section. We'll give you a shout out on the next episode. Whether you're right, whether you're wrong, we'll go ahead and shout you out anyways. Other than that, that's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron, and I'm out.